All right. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Bookmap Thursday afternoon stream. It is now 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Good stuff. And a little shaken and bacon rejecting the high after we have yet more sell side icebergs. And this is what I want to point out because there was some talk about the second 3,000 iceberg that hit, I don't know, about an hour ago or so. So when that thing transacted, you saw the buying and the CVD spike. It went from negative something, negative like 1,000 or something like that, to up 2,700 and up 3,000. So that one there is what kind of raised this thing up here. The first one was a sell side, which dumped us over. The second one, it raised the CVD, and the CVD never came back off to show buying. Look at this one. When these start transacting, the CVD start to dump. That's the difference. Is that the sell side will show selling, and the buy side will be buying. So yes, it is confusing when it's above and still shows buying, but that's the way we have to interpret that, and that's kind of how I want to start this conversation off. Is that don't sleep on the aggregate. Don't sleep on the aggregate. There you go. All right, you should be good to go here. So coming off. Dropping back down, we just rejected the not only the pre-market high, but the morning session high. This will be the third rejection off of the 5032, right as the sell side icebergs come on. We had the 780, which was not transacted. We had this 841, which was transacted. So we'll see if they put the 780 back on and how this comes, but we just had the CVD dump back over to negative off of this move right at the top of the hour. YM is coming off, XLF is coming off. The second thing I want to pay attention to is that the 60 quantity iceberg that was on there all morning long. If you noticed this morning, as we were filling those 3,000 icebergs, we had a 60 level up here, right here, that was there all day. We come up, we finally transacted, and then we have weakness coming off here with the highest volume candle we've had in about an hour. So interesting stuff. On top of that, the volume has been coming off and off and off. We've been kind of trickling up here, and this is leading to another rejection. Dump, please. Yeah. Yeah. Nice little top wick. So coming back on, we have VIX is popping back up to 1447, still top wicking back down. Now to the upside, they did shift this liquidity from 50.40 up to 50.45. So that could mean a late day run. I don't know. Currently, I'm going to play this downside off of this 3 times rejection with high volume. So the rejection is set up nicely here, not to mention the break of the wedge. But other than that, we're entering into the afternoon session with hopefully a little uptick in volatility, a little price action. Right here, let me make sure, there we go, make sure everyone can hear me. Good to go. 5026. They are shifting liquidity back to 5012 on down. And we are hanging out right here, smack dab in the middle of the range. NASDAQ is down to 1857. If we're looking here on SPY, you see that overall the volume has been steadily declining with a couple of little minor upticks, all to the sell side. All the upticks have been to the sell side. And then we had this little tightening price action that eventually finally gave way right at this triple top. So obviously we have some supply right here. 5045 puts SPY right about there if we were to grab this liquidity right there. So a nice little pressure here. Overall, just a big range day. I wouldn't get antsy on playing too much aggression here. A move back down to the low of the range would be beautiful to kind of clear things out and go into power hour neutral. But we will see. Interesting. 5028. XLF has been hanging out at 39.60. The bonds are still staying down. Russell's back up. Microsoft is flat. Amazon's coming back up. So the big players today have been Meta and Tesla. They rallied today out of the top and they haven't faced any pressure. Google is kind of trickling off the lows but still staying down. Nvidia is the same way. Amazon, Microsoft, all Apple. Microsoft and Apple are getting smoked. There's no hope for Amazon and Microsoft just yet. Overall, a day that's a mixture of a lot of different things, trying to identify basically where the market's going. So into the afternoon, I would look for this level right here. We've got 50-40 that was on there all morning, right here, that shifted upwards. So this checks the criteria of managed liquidity. We have a little interest up here in the 50-40 area. That could set up for a late day move into this area. Once we kind of deal with all of this crap that we have going on here, all the sell side icebergs, all liquidity, 50-35, 50-20, etc. VIX was telegraphing the move of the past 30 minutes. Yeah, VIX came back up there too. Yep. I don't even know what that is. Start an activity. Something new on Bookmap on Discord. $5030. CVD back to flat. ES is still coming up 1520. Meta is still going. Meta's going for a 3% day. Tesla is back up almost to 200 for a 4% day. And Tesla has gone from 175 to 200 in 10 days. This should put us to a new high right here. This move back up. This should do it. This will be a fourth test, and this is more aggressive than the first move. So this should do it right here, 50.33. Smash right through. New high of the day. All the while putting on even more liquidity back down into 5035. Apple's 184.95. Amazon's going 169.54. YM is up there too. $5025 is a 10-point candle on ES and going. Biggest candle of the day so far. Second biggest candle, other than the opening. Interesting. They're shifting this down. So right now they're going to do it 5035, going into this 4-5 area. But that's a new high of the day and a new. So it did fill the imbalance there too. The 5-minute candle on SPY is crazy. It is. Yeah, it's a big green. Still holding that wedge too. What am I drinking? A little bit of water. It's ice cold water. 5033. Man, we're putting on 13 and 45. Yeah, so now everything took off with that. Amazon's starting to join the fun there too. After beating down all day, Amazon finally put on some green. And ES is 5033. SPX is 5018. Come on now. I think there's something wrong with my Mozilla Firefox. Websites aren't loading. I definitely don't want to use Microsoft or Windows Explorer. So here's the retest. If they hold, this is a fourth touch, which has breakout written all over it. If we break out on the fourth try and hold over it, which is the morning high is 5032, then I would start to attack this 5045 right here. Not to mention, yes, everything did start to blast. Russell is even on the train right now. Russell went, Dow, Amazon is freaking rocketing, and off we go here. There we go. Right there. And ES is going there, 5035. So we have a breakout. We have the test confirmed at 5032, which is right over the highs there, and the volume to support it on the 5-minute. 15 still low, but obviously we're still young. We still have plenty of time left. But that's definitely a confirmed breakout. Amazon is rocket ships and going. Five, 6. Smoking it. So I'm going to play this momentum to the upside here for now. And I would look to gun for this 4-5. Another iceberg. This is a question mark right here. 5015. I can't get anything to work here. None of my websites. High volume there too. We have 3 minutes till this candle closes. Apple's going, Amazon's going. Upwards. $5037. 50-30's ripping. You took 50-30s. That's an aggressive play. Well done. Well done. 50-30s would put us right at this liquidity level, so that would make sense in terms of liquidity. 635. They're not adding any liquidity. Oh, they got a little 50-90s up here too. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe someone closing short calls? Potentially. So if Nvidia turns up and all the other weakness, because now we had Apple and Amazon who were getting destroyed, now they're coming along. So NASDAQ is finally starting to show some signs of life. NASDAQ's been terrible all day. They're finally starting to show some signs of life. Big green. If Nvidia decides to join everyone else and Google, I mean, yeah, it could definitely turn into a reversal day. So, but the volume has been favoring the buyers since the 11:15 candle. And we are trying to close this 5-minute candle above the morning high, which will confirm into 50.45. I just hope it goes. I hate this back and forth crap. This back and forth wiki crap. There we go. Just had a restart. We're good to go. Sweet. I'm going to take my $30 loss and call it a day. It's all right. 5035. So keep an eye on this candle. We're holding above supply, which means we have a breakout. The 5-minute candle so far is green. Any red or any topic at all, we need to hold 5032, but it looks like we're not even going to have a chance to go down there. At least not yet. VIX is up to 1446, still not moving there either. No movement there on the VIX. And Russell is testing high of the day. Everything on my watch list is green except for tech. XLK is red. Everything else is bright green. XLF is absolutely just rocketing. XLE is up 2.27. XLRE is 2.18. XLU is 1.43. But all the signs right now point to buying. The volume is there. The increase in volume. We've got the liquidity shift higher. We actually got some buying coming into the tape here. Into 40. I'll keep on playing it until we fail the morning high. Options. New tab. There we go. Now we're cooking. $501, which is currently where we are. That's the main exposure right now. 501 with a little bit at 502 for today, which would put us right here, a couple of points up. Oh, geez Louise, 5,000 again. Another iceberg. 502 would put us right near all-time highs. It would. It would. Right here. All right. As long as this candle holds, I'll be comfortable still holding. And we'll be looking for 5045. So I'll consider that 1 for 1. So far. What is that? Bloomberg. I don't need that. How do returns on ES versus SPX compare? Are you talking about futures versus options? Oh, they're drastically different. Options pay way more. I mean, that's the beauty of options, is that they pay way more. You can't beat the delta pump or gamma when that does come into play of the premiums on options, whereas futures are more linear. 1 point, you get 1 point of return. So 5038. So all liquidity is pointing right up here to 5040. Once we take this out, we'll go for 5045. Going. It's been a pretty awesome day today so far, man. Been a pretty awesome day. Decided to try my hand at first poor man's covered calls today and learning a lot in the process, holding off and resetting my short leg after the bullish move. Nice. Very nice, Mr. 50. Sweet. So now that we're able to survive the first 5 minutes of the breakout, still everything's confirmed. Everything's looking good. The bullish flow is there. The volume is there. We had VPA take us even higher. Amazon's breaking out. Russell, all the small caps are supportive of this move. Now NASDAQ is supportive, so it checks the market awareness box. And now we're coming up into 4045. So this will be the move right up here. So coming up here into 40. Blasting still going. Just took that out. Let's see if we can hit 40, 45, 50, 45. Still going. NASDAQ is up there too, so we finally have them correlating. So we have some correlation across the entire market. And up we go. All right. I'm not ready to take profit on these yet. These are good. These are good. I'd like to wipe out this 50.45 first, but this may be a PH move. We'll see. CVD is still 2,800. Nothing crazy, but going nice. Pretty dull day, except for the last two candles on ES. It's just barely creeping over, but I'd like to get this 50.45 right here. Wait on my cash account request to go through. It will be way up right now. That's all right. There's plenty of opportunity, man. 2024 is going to be a crazy year. You'll have plenty of opportunity. Yeah, obviously, yeah, no theta on futures, but if you pick and choose when to play options and futures correctly, you can have yourself a great strategy on when to play breakouts, when to play larger moves, and when not to. Still going. So VPA is still holding up here. We still have the price action and the volume to support this move. No top wick seal yet. No rejections. No supply volume, which means we haven't yet hit supply yet. So I'll be looking for 50.45. 5 more points. Still going. Still going. Lately, I'm liking using small position size options to look into positions. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a pretty spicy bookmap hour. Yeah, I like it. I like it. There's a top wick off of that. Just small. Surprisingly, I've been doing very well on zeros rather than 1 to 2 DT, which is my usual play, because zeros are money. Yeah. I mean, when you catch a move, there's nothing beats zeros. It's the best paying product there is when you're right. It's good stuff. All right, still going, still holding. Just a small little sell order. No reason to be closing out just yet. Things are still fine. Got up to 50.45. The flow is still good. We still have 632. This happening this early, and this coming on here, which means I would probably look for attacking at 50.45, and this brings the possibility of an attack on this into power hour. We still have about 2.5 hours left in the market. We'll see what happens, though. Daily chart is back up. 50.65 would put us back up to 8 ATHs. $50.40. Slow stuff. Slow stuff. NASDAQ is flagging at 17,911. NVIDIA is not recovered yet. So keep an eye on the lagging names in the market. See if they're going to start to pull up. NVIDIA is 73282. This is where the options chain is topping out at right here. The 501, 502 area is where we top out, which does put us right in line with this 50-40, 50-45 area. And the call flow is exceptionally heavy today. As of about 30 minutes ago, calls really hit the gas pedal. Started piling in. They took off 50-11. I was joking this morning when I said SMCI 1,000 calls for tomorrow. It almost hit. Yeah, it's nuts. That's ridiculous. Just waiting. $50.38 still. Been playing a lot of options this week, dude. There's been a lot of great moves for it. Posted a video of auto exchange. I don't know what you're talking about. I think you might be a spammer. Where to learn how to trade options on 0DT. Right here. So I've got a great community YouTube channel about all that stuff. How to trade options, SPX versus SPY, how to trade options in general, how to understand them. So check it out. Come hang out with us. Learn how to trade them. Typically 0DTEs I wouldn't necessarily recommend. Actually, I wouldn't recommend to beginners. So if you don't have a very lengthy trading history, I'd kind of avoid zeros because it's a double-edged sword. And usually the losing side of that sword is a lot more aggressive than the winning side of that sword. It's great when you win, but man, is it bad when you get on a losing streak. It's bad. ES is still going. Y'all are quiet today. Y'all are boring me. $50.40. Still going. Still going. Still have no problem holding as long as they don't start wicking down here to the and break the morning low, morning high. Everything is still good to go. Still good to go. Volume is still there. In fact, the volume is not dropping off. It's maintaining, which is a good sign. I'd probably look up the sweep to 50.45. There we go, 50.40. New high, boom, good. Still going. There goes the Russell breaking out. There goes the Dow breaking out. There goes Amazon. And all we need is NVIDIA to get turned, and we're good to go here into 50.45. Beautiful. Boom. What's the best if not zeros? You just want to build yourself some time. There's not really a good vehicle. It's just build yourself some time in the trade. The Greeks on a 0DTE are so incredibly aggressive that it leaves you very small window of margin of error that you have to be right on. All right, still going here. So once we tap this 50.45, I'm going to close out half my position. because we're entering into supply and we're coming up on the upper end of the options chain. And leave on the rest. Keep on going. What days are better if not zeros? I would start out with weeklies at least when you're learning. If not, go to back and forth between futures. I'm telling you, man, just save yourself about 2 years of learning curves and hate for yourself and self-loathing, and just don't do zeros when you're starting out. And go in the money, yeah. Out of the money, the call is expiring tomorrow at $31. Wow. All right. Bye, Sick Drummer. You gone. Do I think 50-50? No, I don't. I think 50-45. Well, it could be. I would say this range right here will be pretty much the high today. Aside from any kind of power hour nastiness, which could happen. They made this move pretty early. Not sure if you're being silly or not, but the self-loathing is real. Yeah, I'm telling you. Like, save yourself a lot of stress and get away from zeros and start trading. Go ahead right now and start trading how you're supposed to be trading now. That's my goal, is to set you up in a way that you can learn how to trade now and save yourself 3 to 4 years of just hating your life if you want to do this every day. Small micro position futures and long dated options. That's all you need to be trading right now, if at all. Just passed my 50K eval. Nice, Hal. Well freaking done. Well freaking done. I wish we can get to 50-45, but we're already pretty much up there. Give me something. Man, it's been a crazy week, man. What a week. What a week. I had my best day of the year 2 days ago. Had another 100+% yesterday. Didn't get 100% today, but still having a pretty good day. What might be a good target on NASDAQ, please? For NASDAQ, I mean, right now we're coming into overnight highs. So this is a big potato for NASDAQ. They just rejected 933. They take this out, 960. The 960 range, plus or minus 5 or 10 points, would be a good place to look at if NASDAQ does take this out. You're welcome. Thank you. Cisa could not do that without you. Well, I appreciate that, Hal. All right, you'd get it eventually. I'm trying to shorten your learning curve. That's all. And the money is much better, and why out of the money seems better for the buck. Out of the money is much more aggressive. You have to realize in options, you have two choices. You have intrinsic or you have extrinsic. Intrinsic is in the money. Extrinsic is out of the money. It means the money is real. The deeper in the money you go, the safer the contract is. The more it acts like, that's what your delta start going more towards 1. The position starts to act more and more like a stock. The further away you get, the lower the deltas you get relative to the premium size. That's something people don't really understand. Is that, yeah, in the money positions have a higher delta, but you have to look at the ratio to the premiums too to figure out how aggressive that position is going to act. And that changes with volatility, with pricing, with spreads, with volume. That changes. But an outside the money position is going to decay a lot faster than an in the money position because it's extrinsic, which is good if you're short premium. You can go ask my boy Mr. 50. But if you're not, if you're longing options, it's not so good. And the most common problem that the beginner investor makes is that they start to trade 0 DTE options and they hold and hold and hold, waiting for more and more and more, and the position degrades down to nothing or even a big loss. Or they never even see in profitability. Because the worst feeling in the world is being right and still losing money. So just save yourself a lot of time. As you become a better investor and more attuned into who you are as a trader and how you manage yourself, you can start to incorporate some short-dated options. I still do short-dated options, but I trust myself not to let it blast out of the top and get destroyed. We got to dump the rest of the day now. Once we tap that 50.45, it's more likely now. I wouldn't say we are going to, but it's more likely when we have these early pumps like this into upwards targets, because now we're hitting the upward liquidity and they're not adding anything more up here. And we have the options chain topping out at 502, which we just tapped onto almost. So it's likely, but more likely, I should say. What's up, Mr. 50? But we'll see. Great teaching, because I thought if you hold longer, more money, that's what happens to me for 2 years. Yep. When you're dealing with short-dated options, it's basically like a hot potato. Hold on to that hot potato as long as you can, and then you got to throw it down. Otherwise, it'll burn you. Hot potato. Big reds. All right. If we break under 50.37, I'll go ahead and wipe the rest of my contracts here and go back to flat. Kind of piecing this baby together. Right here. The 8 EMA, if it's a trend, it'll hold here. If not, then we'll come down and retest the morning high of 50.32, which I don't really want to face that drawdown. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And of course, please hit that like and subscribe button if you are watching the YouTube. Right here. Well done, Tug. Well done. This has been the slowest freaking trend up all week. It's nice to get a little Momo there for a second. Bottom wick, good. R2K. Russell. Target for M2K. What do you mean? 5038. Google climbing. Meta is finally starting to put on some signs of selling. Amazon blasting. Microsoft is coming up. Apple. NASDAQ is 17, holding over the morning high. So first rejection of the prior pivot on NASDAQ, if y'all catch that one. And they're holding so far. Right here. Seems like I ask a lot of questions, but it helps me from not quitting after 2 years. No, dude. That's why we're here, man. There's no such thing as a dumb question. So keep it coming. I will answer the same question 1,000 times if need be, if I can get it in there, get in your brain. So keep them coming. There's a whole bunch of misinformation out there and a whole bunch of crap. My job is to cut through the crap. No spin zone. I don't want any double dribble. I don't want any backcourt violations. How about doing 0 DTs on SPY to start? I would not do that. I'm telling you, if you have less than a year trading, I would avoid 0 DTEs at all costs. At all costs. Save yourself some trouble. It's great when it pays well. I'm telling you, it's super nice. It's the sweetest honey you could taste when you're making money on zeros. But when they bite you, you better have good risk management, or you will have a bad time. If you pizza when you're supposed to French fry, or French fry when you're supposed to pizza, you're gonna have a bad time. Bottom wick back up right off the 8 EMA. So that's the only time I use the 8 EMA in these things is on a trend. Right now we are trending. So I feel comfortable looking at the 8, and right off the 8, we bounce and go up on the 5 minute. So as long as we hold that thing, then we are still in a trend, especially after breaking over the morning high. The morning high is right here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Jabroni. Right here. That's the morning high. So as long as we break over the morning high and don't retrace back into it, it's still a definitive trend up. So there's two ways to play these breakouts. We kind of talked about it earlier. Someone asked me this question, what are you going to do if we break out? Well, there's two ways to look about it. I'd never like to play the first initial breakout because a lot of times it gets reversed. So you have to give it a few potatoes. Let it do its thing. Let it take a few breaths. And that's exactly what I did. You give it a chance to at least retrace back down, and then right here would be a good buy zone. If it doesn't, then you have to take entry once it holds over the prior candle, which is what I did. And up we go. Not to mention, when you get this type of move, you have to realize, remember what Wyckoff and Anna Coling, they talked about this. Anna Coling bases her teaching off of Wyckoff. So Wyckoff is the third touch and go. We've got 3 touches. 1, 2, and 3. So now it's set up for a breakout if it were to recover. I feel comfortable playing the counter on these moves. But when you see this little retracement and all of a sudden this big aggressive move, this has got breakout written all over it. All over it. And then right here we go. Although it's still quite slow. In the world of breakouts, this is still pretty weak. Especially what we're used to the past couple weeks. What would be a good time to swing calls? If you want to swing something up, long up till somewhere around new highs, 50.65 or so. But I think in my opinion, the time for longer dated swing calls is come and gone, at least temporarily. I think we're still in the process of distribution. Would you suggest to stay on futures only for good stats? I don't like to tell people to do only futures or only options because I think there is a time to play both. I want you to learn when to play options and learn when to play futures. So options have a lot of variables, but like I said, nothing beats the payout of an option when things are calling properly for an option. Futures are great for longer term holds. If you want to play through some chop, if you want to play a thesis that may not be working out exactly at the moment. But options, when you identify a move that's high confident and you want to play that move, options are definitely the way to go in terms of payout. But you just want to pick the right option and you want to pick when to play it. If it's a slow, rangy, choppy day, you don't really want to play options. I agree, but I think the algos are bringing it back to get good exits. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, we could still put in a new high and still be in distribution as of now. There's still a lot of high volume selling, which means that we could still, go back and look at July. We could still put in another high up to like 50.80 and still be in the distribution process. Now, if we were to clear 50.80 and start blasting into 5100s, all right, well, this was just another accumulation to go even higher, which very well could happen. But all I'm noticing on the daily chart is we're starting to see high volume selling hit the tape. So there you go. I saw your video about the 80-20 rule and it works pretty well. Oh, you're welcome. Appreciate you watching that. Let me know if you have anything else you want to see. I find swing trading 30-day breaks takes 50% and cut and has been working. I want to learn how to day trade because it's how I started. See, I'm the exact opposite, Calvin. My entire career, I was a swing trader. I didn't do scalping until coronavirus. In fact, I didn't even start doing a lot of primarily scalping until late coronavirus, which was like 2021, early 2022. That's when I pretty much started doing primarily scalping because the moves got so aggressive that I was like, all right, I was tired of swinging because it wasn't working out so well. But my whole career, I've been a swing trader, stock trader. So I did the opposite. And then once this market kind of settled down, I'll be back to swing trading, stock trading, spreads, covered calls, secured puts, all that kind of stuff, all the fun stuff. Boom. Is the 5045 still on? It is. They put on 5035. They spoofed this cat down here at 5013. And if we drop any more from here, I'll go ahead and tap out of the remainder of my calls. Why do I paper trade better? I mean, my stops are more flexible on a fake account when I don't want to lose on a real account. All right. So, all right. Do you play any video games? I want to ask that question. And if you do, which video games do you play? All right. What's your favorite? What video games do you play? I'm good at metaphors. Call of Duty. Perfect. That's exactly what I was thinking. All right. So you play Call of Duty. So you're in a wartime game. You're in a battle. You've got your weapons. You're shooting. You're getting shot at. You're getting shot in the head. You're getting killed. But you don't care. It's just a video game. You're having fun. You're sipping one with the boys. If you were in real life, do you think you would be that calm and collected? Do you think you would be poking your head up and blasting into 15 dudes? Phrasing. No, you wouldn't, because it's a video game. It's fake. But in real life, things matter. So trading with a paper trade account is nothing. It's nonsense. There is no skin in the game. You think differently. You act differently. You do things differently. You leave positions on. You hold through drawdowns. You let it come back up. It's nonsense. The only thing you should use for paper trading is learning a new system, period. And I mean like technical, and I don't mean like execution. Which leads me to my second point is that trading, especially if you are a new listing, trading is 99% mental. It's who you are as a person and who you are as a trader. Teaching you the technical side of trading, I could do it in one day. It's easy. It's easy to teach support and resistance. It's easy to teach supply and demand. It's much more difficult to teach you how to manage trade when things are going wrong and you've got money on the line. That's why I could take my system, which I tend to think of myself as a decent trader. If I was to place all my crap in your hands or a beginner, you would do terrible with it because you are not the same as me in terms of you're not the same person as me. You are your own person. You need to figure out what works for you. You need to figure out how you think. Are you a degenerate gambler? Then cool. All right. If you are, so be it. Do that at the casino, but you need to learn not to do that in the markets. You know where this is going. So that's why the two books I recommend, Complete Guide to Volume Price Analysis and the other one. I just completely went blank. I was going for a Bring It Home event. I just completely... What's that book called? I just completely went blank. Trading in the Zone. Yeah, Trading in the Zone. My favorite book. I can't even remember the name of it. It's also free on Spotify, by the way. Every time I hear John Carter, I think of John Cena. It's all about the mental game. It's all about the mental game. Position management through emotional risk mitigation. Speaking of which, I'm about to get stopped out on the remainder of my trade in profit. Profit stop. Wife made me watch the entire series of ER. You talking about the one with, what's his name? Back in the day? Reading that book now. It's a great book. Yeah. What's your thesis for the market next week? I could see the market going green until NVIDIA earnings, which is the 21st. They report on Wednesday. And that's not including Russian space nukes. I keep on spoofing this guy, 5035. It's why paper trading is so easy, but risking your own money can be stressful. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. What do you think NVIDIA would be after ER? Dude, I don't even know. I don't even know. I mean, the call volume on 1,000 strikes is very, very real. It's very real. I know people joke about NVIDIA going to 1,000, but it's very real. We've already seen Meta put on a 21% move. If NVIDIA were to do something similar, it would tap 1,000, which is obscene. I know it is. But you can't ignore the option chain activity. It's very real. How do market makers make money when everyone's going for calls? Market makers are not making money. That's not why they're there. If you're talking about true market makers, their objective is to make a market. They're making money on arbitrage, on the spreads. They're not making money like me and you. They're not sitting here speculating on 15-point moves. So when we buy calls, they sell calls. That's why if you look at the overall dealer deltas, when you have massive red spikes of collective dealer deltas, that means that the rest of the market is buying calls because dealer deltas are negative. And when the dealers are negative deltas, that means on the collective, the rest of the market is assuming to be buying calls because they are longing deltas. And when you're short deltas, especially now, and here's the thing, this goes into the zero DTE conversation, which the past 2 weeks has become a pretty hot topic here in the server. The whole thing with zero DTE is that it's thrown in a late day euphoria aspect to the market, which is why I keep trying to tell you this is for power hour stuff, because the markets are hedging themselves from day to day in the power hour, which also does it with volume. But as we start getting these massive moves with SMCI, with NVIDIA, Microsoft went through a couple of weeks there where they were exponential. That as these dealers go further and further in the money on their short calls, which we are long calls, they're starting to buy the underlying here. So more buying begets more buying because the more short calls that go in the money, the deeper their portfolio gets the delta, and their algorithms are tailored to dynamically and perpetually hedge their portfolios back to delta neutral. And they have to buy the underlying to bring their portfolio back to delta neutral as we go higher and higher and higher until we reach a point where they have bought enough where we flip, and that's where we start hitting supply. That's where they start taking profit. They start liquidating those calls. And right now, the market is very much in buy mode. We are in euphoria buy mode where everybody's buying calls. And then with the introduction of zero DTEs and everyone buying the zero DTEs, it creates a much more aggressive upstream with the algorithmic flows because now they have to heavily buy on the upside. And it creates these huge upward swings. And when you see the volume kick in, like right here, for example, on the 5-minute, when you see the volume kick in like this, you know that that's exactly what they're doing. They're doing algorithmic buying. This right here is when the algos kick on and go. When you have a block of buy order like this. Right here. But it's thrown in a whole different dynamic. The zero DTE everyday crap is thrown in a whole different late day dynamic to trading, where we have these explosive moves at the end of the day because they're setting themselves up, and it's really Linda Raschke on steroids. I just got a funny mental picture of Linda Raschke like curling 100-pound dumbbells on steroids. But it's taken Linda Raschke's process and put it on steroids, where the market, the dealers and the market makers are all marking their positions for the following session. And usually, if we see big institutional buying on the underlying in the final session, we're going to look for at least a flow upwards into the first hour of the next session. But now we have the aspect of the zeros on the power hour where it flows even stronger. I don't know where that came from, but I kind of went off on a tangent there. Do you think options changed the vol on the entire market? I think it did change the landscape of the market, absolutely. There was a period there where the derivatives was running the show. The tail was wagging the dog, so to speak. You know, there's a reason why they're called derivatives, because they're a derivative of the underlying stock market. The options are derivative. Up until, up until recently, calls were strictly insurance. They were strictly hedging. They weren't made for speculating like me and you. But then they saw the value in collecting premium. Why do you think they created zeros every day? Why do they think they created zeros on SPX and SPY? Eventually, I'm sure it'll be on NDX, and it's going to be on TLT eventually, because they are finding products that jabronis like me and you like to trade, and they're going to create zero DTEs on them because they want to farm premium. They know that we're jabronis. They know we're going to speculate and gamble, and they're going to farm the crap out of it. They're going to squeeze us dry of every single premium that we buy. Because you remember, when you buy a call, they are selling us a call. When you buy a put, they are selling you the put. And they want the premium to go to zero because they're collecting. But so yes, it has changed the game. And as long as you continue to see products come out with zero DTEs, more and more products come out with zero DTEs, it's going to create that much more volatility in the market. Now, if you remember early 2022 last year, Spot Gamma posted an article about Volmageddon, which is centered around this exact topic. What happens when speculative hedges create an insane drawdown in the market in a single day? And I know it sounds crazy, but it happens all the time. 1987, it happened. 2010, we had a 20-something% drawdown in a single day. It happens. And they talked about the situation where hedging and insurance causes a trip of the algos that causes a massive drawdown in a single day. Hundreds of points drawdown in a single day. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but it's an interesting environment we're kind of speeding into. Your commentary makes me think entering in a poor man's covered call, I don't really need to have a short leg on if the long leg is making money. Just leave it and let it eat. Yeah. Yeah. Did you know the date on this video is Feb 9th? Oh, it is, isn't it? That's weird. How the heck did that happen? Putting on more liquidity at 5023. Time machine confirmed. I'll change it after I close it out. I can't change it till I close, which I do have to do in 2 minutes, unfortunately. $5039. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Y'all bored me the first half hour, but you came alive the second half hour. A lot of questions. It was good stuff. I like answering questions. That's why we're here, right? Not to sit here and say top wick, bottom wick, green candle, red candle, top wick. One more question. How is the Bookmap different from the DOM? If you have just plain liquidity and nothing else, it's not really different. But the value of Bookmap, besides the obvious visual nature of it, is all the add-ons, all the tools that you can customize your experience. For me personally, the biggest addition for me is the icebergs and stops. The CVD, which is a great help. But if you're just doing the plain Jane software, there's not really any difference. So yeah. Good to hear for your wisdom and experience. Thank you. Appreciate that, MX. You're very welcome, Art. Iceberg is an add-on. Yep. You buy it separate. So you need. I'll put my if you are interested in getting it, I'll put my link in the description. It'll get you some money off your plan. Here. I only share links that get you all money off. But yeah, you have to get the MBO package, which requires to have rhythmic data, by the way, on Bookmap. But in my opinion, it's the best add-on. In my opinion, it's the best add-on they have. It's fantastic. What's your takeaway from the 1127 3K sell iceberg? In my opinion, it was a buy iceberg. What threw me off, because it got me too. It threw me off too. It was above the price action, but if you notice the difference between the first one, the second 3000K, the 3000 iceberg resulted in the CVD going up 3000. So they bought it. That's the difference. So I'm going to make a note of it next time. I know this is a bit off topic, but I just want to tell you how awesome of a person and Christian you are. Thank you. You legitimately care, go above and beyond to help people. You get the same questions all the time and handle every question as the first time. Thanks, Juicebox. I appreciate that. I try to be. I'm not always perfect, but I'm always trying to walk in the light, you know. MBO is the best, yeah. So, all right, y'all, that is the top of the hour, which means, unfortunately, I do have to call it. I'm only allotted 1 hour on this amazing channel. So if you want to subscribe, come hang out with us. Let me know. Shoot me a DM in the old Discord. Shoot me a message with everyone else. We're getting a whole bunch of activity this week, so I guess people are starting to want to learn more, which is fantastic, and I want to help each and every one of you. So let me know if you have any questions. Hit me up. Shoot me an email. Until next time, I'll see you next week, and I'm out. See ya.